Welcome back to the channel, my spooky friends. Tonight, we're taking a trip to a place where laughter turns into screams. We're diving deep into the unsettling world of deserted carnival grounds where rusty Ferris wheels creak and echoes of distant screams linger. So, lock your doors, turn off the lights, and crank up the volume because tonight, we're venturing into the darkness. Picture this. A group of friends, young and invincible, decide to tempt fate at the abandoned Ashton's family fun park. They had heard the rumors, the whispers of eerie happenings, but their curiosity got the better of them. It's midnight as they slip through the rusted gates, the metal groaning in protest. The air is thick with the scent of decay and neglect. The full moon casts long shadows, transforming the innocent carnival rides into menacing silhouettes. The once vibrant colors now appear ghostly under the pale light. They move deeper into the heart of the abandoned carnival, their nervous laughter the only sound breaking the silence. Each step they take seems to echo louder than the last. They pass the skeletal silhouette of the Ferris wheel, its vacant carriages swaying gently in the breeze. The creaking of the metal adds to the unsettling atmosphere. Then they hear it, a faint chuckle carried on the wind. It's almost as if the park itself is mocking them. The laughter sends a shiver down their spines, a chilling reminder that they are not alone. The sound is both distant and unnervingly close. Their laughter dies, replaced by a tense silence as they strain their ears. Every rustle of leaves, every creak of old wood seems amplified. It comes again, closer this time, echoing through the emptiness. The sound bounces off the dilapidated structures, creating an eerie symphony, a high-pitched, almost childlike laughter that seems to seep from the very walls. It's as if the park is alive, playing tricks on their minds. Their hearts pound in their chests, a frantic drumbeat against the silence. The fear is palpable, hanging in the air like a thick fog. One of the friends, Sarah, lets out a gasp, her hand flying to her mouth to stifle a scream. Her eyes are wide with terror. They all spin around, searching for the source of the laughter, their flashlights darting in every direction, casting fleeting beams of light. "Who's there?" shouts Ben, the de facto leader, his voice cracking slightly. The bravado he had earlier is now replaced with genuine fear, but the only response is the echo of his own voice. The silence that follows is deafening, almost suffocating. The laughter continues, growing louder, swirling around them. It's as if the very air is filled with mocking giggles. It's no longer a distant chuckle, but a cacophony of chilling giggles. The sound seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Panic sets in. The group huddles closer, their bravado crumbling. They can feel the walls closing in, the darkness becoming more oppressive. Suddenly, the laughter stops. Silence descends once more. The abrupt end is almost as terrifying as the laughter itself. Then, as quickly as it began, the laughter returns, closer than ever. It's as if the source is right next to them, breathing down their necks. It's coming from the carousel. They turn to see it slowly spinning, its lights flickering erratically. The once joyful ride now looks like a scene from a nightmare. The painted horses rise and fall, their jeweled eyes glinting menacingly. Each movement seems deliberate, almost alive. Terror lends them speed. They turn and run, their fear propelling them through the darkness. The sound of their footsteps is a frantic rhythm against the silent night. They don't stop running until they're safely beyond the rusted gates, their lungs burning. The relief is overwhelming, but the fear still lingers. As they catch their breath, they can still hear the echoes of that laughter, a haunting reminder of the night they tempted fate. The memory of the eerie laughter will stay with them forever, a chilling tale to tell. Our next story takes us to the tattered remnants of a place once filled with laughter and joy. This is the Lakeside Amusement Park, now a ghost of its former self, a haunting reminder of better days. Imagine being the lone security guard tasked with patrolling this desolate expanse. That's Frank's reality, a job that once seemed simple but has now taken on a sinister edge. Night after night he walks his rounds, his only companions the whispering wind and the unsettling creaks of the aging rides. The silence is almost deafening, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves or the distant hoot of an owl. He'd heard the stories, the rumors of strange occurrences, but dismissed them as superstitious nonsense until tonight when everything changed. It starts subtly. a faint whisper, barely audible above the wind, seeming to slither from the shadows. It's as if the very air is alive, carrying secrets from the past. Frank stops, his hand instinctively reaching for the flashlight on his belt. His heart begins to race, a sense of dread creeping in. He shines the beam into the darkness, the air thick with the smell of mildew and decay. The light cuts through the gloom, revealing the skeletal remains of the rides. "Hello?" Frank calls out, his voice echoing strangely. Only silence answers him, a silence that feels almost oppressive. He takes a hesitant step back, a shiver running down his spine. The feeling of being watched is overwhelming. He continues his patrol, his senses on high alert. Every creak, every rustle seems magnified, feeding his growing unease. The wind picks up, carrying the faint scent of cotton candy and popcorn, a phantom reminder of the park's joyful past. It's as if the ghosts of happier times are trying to reach out. As he rounds the corner, a cacophony of metallic groans assaults his ears. The sound is almost unbearable, like the park itself is crying out. He shines his flashlight on the ride, its carriages frozen in midair, twisted at unnatural angles. The sight is both eerie and tragic. And that's when he hears it again. The whisper, closer this time, a sibilant hiss that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere. He spins around, his flashlight beam dancing across the shadows. The darkness seems to close in, suffocating and impenetrable. "Who's there?" Frank shouts, but there's no answer, only the sound of his own heart pounding. The silence is deafening, filled with unspoken threats. The whispers start to multiply, surrounding him, closing in on him. It's as if the very walls of the park are alive, whispering secrets and threats. He can't make out any words, just a jumble of voices, their tone laced with malice. The air is thick with tension, almost electric. Frank stumbles back, his heart racing, his mind reeling. The fear is almost paralyzing, a cold grip on his soul. He shines his flashlight wildly, illuminating nothing but empty rides and deepening shadows. The sense of isolation is overwhelming. He breaks into a run, his flashlight bouncing erratically, casting grotesque shadows. The need to escape is overpowering. He doesn't slow down until he reaches the relative safety of his security booth. The small space feels like a sanctuary. He slams the door shut, fumbling for the lock, his hands shaking uncontrollably. The sense of relief is fleeting. He spends the rest of his shift huddled inside, the whispers still echoing in his ears, a chilling reminder of the night the abandoned amusement park came alive. The experience leaves him questioning his sanity, wondering if the park will ever truly let him go. Our final tale leads us down a desolate highway where our traveler Emily finds herself stranded after her car sputters its last breath. The engine coughs and dies, leaving her in the middle of nowhere. As the sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, she spots it in the distance, a collection of twinkling lights. They seem to beckon her, a glimmer of hope in the encroaching darkness. Hope flickers in her chest, a small flame against the vast, empty night. Maybe she can find help there. She approaches cautiously, her footsteps echoing in the stillness, her heart sinking with each step. The air grows colder, and a sense of unease wraps around her like a shroud. The twinkling lights belong to a long-abandoned carnival, its silhouette stark and eerie against the night sky. The gate creaks open, and Emily steps inside, her unease growing. The carnival is a ghost of its former self, a place where laughter once echoed, but now only silence reigns. The carnival is a graveyard of forgotten joy, a relic of happier times now lost to decay. The rusted Ferris wheel looms over her, a giant sentinel watching her every move. She rounds a corner and hears it, music. A haunting melody carried on the wind. It's faint at first, but as she moves closer, it grows louder. The sound is both beautiful and eerie, pulling her in. The source of the music is a carousel, spinning slowly in the moonlight, its lights flickering erratically. The painted horses rise and fall, their jeweled eyes gleaming with an unnatural light. Each horse seems to have a life of its own, their expressions frozen in a perpetual state of joy and sorrow. Their jeweled eyes gleam with an unnatural light, almost as if they are watching her. She's drawn to it, inexplicably, her feet moving as if guided by an unseen hand. The music washes over her, a melancholic symphony that speaks of forgotten dreams and lost souls. The melody is both enchanting and sorrowful, filling her with a sense of longing. As she gets closer, she sees a lone figure atop one of the horses, its back to her. The figure sways slightly to the music, its head bowed. Emily hesitates, a shiver crawling down her spine. She should turn back, but something holds her there. "Hello?" she calls out, her voice trembling. The figure doesn't respond. Emily takes another step closer, her hand outstretched. The air feels heavy, charged with an unseen energy. "Hello?" she calls out again, her voice barely a whisper. The figure remains silent, unmoving. Emily takes another step closer, her hand outstretched, and that's when the figure turns. Its face is shrouded in shadow, but Emily can sense its eyes. It's a look that speaks of unimaginable sorrow and ancient pain. The figure's eyes seem to pierce through the darkness, locking onto hers. Terror floods Emily's veins. She stumbles back, her hand flying to her mouth. The music stops abruptly, the silence just as deafening. The figure on the carousel turns away, resuming its slow, mournful dance. Emily turns and flees, her heart pounding, the image of the figure seared into her memory. She doesn't look back, but the haunting melody follows her, echoing in her mind. The figure on the carousel continues its endless ride, a ghostly sentinel in the night. Emily runs, her breath coming in ragged gasps, the eerie silence pressing in around her. The image of the figure is seared into her memory, a haunting presence she knows she can never escape. The haunting melody follows her, echoing in her mind, a chilling reminder of the night she stumbled upon the Carnival of lost souls. She knows she can never tell anyone what she saw, but the memory lingers, a haunting presence that will never fade. Emily's life is forever changed, haunted by the memory of that eerie night and the sorrowful figure on the haunting carousel. So there you have it, my fellow horror enthusiasts, 3 terrifying tales of unexplained noises from deserted carnival grounds. If you enjoyed tonight's journey into the darkness, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Share your own encounters with the unexplained in the comments below. Until next time, keep your lights on. And remember, sometimes the silence is the scariest sound of all. Sweet dreams.